James Worthy is a Laker analyst for Time Warner Cable Sportsnet, where fans in Los Angeles can watch tonight's game. And he is, as we all know, one of the all-time Laker greats, also one of the all-time greats from North Carolina. And it is great to have him on this show. How are you, James Worthy?
Rich, how are you, buddy?
I am doing just fine. What are you expecting from tonight, James?
A glorious evening, a night of appreciation of a young man who came here straight out of high school and gave us 20 years of his life, not only 20 years, but 5 championships, and entertained everyone globally. He's dedicated to the game, committed. It's going to be a very touching, emotional evening, sad evening, because you really don't miss them until they're gone. So it's going to be a great night, an emotional night, and one of much appreciation.
Do you think he's going to get emotional? Because, James, we're seeing his last, I guess, commercial for Nike as a player. I'm sure. Did you see that spot that came out today, James?
I have not.
Well, it's where it's called The Conductor, and he's conducting all the hate from the crowd, where fans of different teams stand up and sing about how much they've hated him over the years, and it's him essentially accepting their hate and walking off with his head held high.
I think that's a lovely thing. If you're an athlete and you've damaged that many cities and beaten that many teams to where they hate you, I think his job has been accomplished. I love it when people, tell me I hated you and blah blah blah. That means that we did something right. So I don't think Kobe's going to tear up. It's not his DNA. It's something I think he'll do silently. He's going to walk out proud and strong and probably try to perform as usual.
What do you make of the, I'm sure you've heard it, that Kobe, by sticking around, if you will, by signing that 2-year deal, hurt the Lakers more than what it's worth to have him say farewell for 20 years with the team, as they will have him say tonight? Where do you stand on that issue, James?
Great businessman, negotiated with the Lakers. And that's what people do. I mean, who knows if that hurt or didn't hurt him? I don't know. I mean, the Lakers took a big risk with bringing in Dwight Howard and Steve Nash, and that didn't work out. We had a lot of injuries. So I don't look at it. Once the deal is done, it's done. That's just the part of the beast. Lakers have been through this rebuilding process before.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not the first time. But, paying Kobe the extra money, I mean, to me, I can't really say. Nobody's been able to prove that.
And do you think the Lakers would take a mulligan on that 2-year deal if they could right now? Do you think Jim Buss?
I don't think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think about it.
James Worthy joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show. So where do you think he stands in the pantheon of all-time Laker greats?
I'm a little biased to Magic and Kareem, but I got to say Kobe has, surpassed that. I think he's the greatest Laker ever, given his accomplishments, his longevity, 20 years coming back from injuries, and, continue to, try to wear that Laker jersey and have that, that understand what that brand has meant to him. So I don't think anybody would argue that he's played with the same team for 20 years, that he's probably the greatest Laker that's ever wore the uniform.
And what do you think his legacy is going to be years from now?
Winner.
Yeah.
A winner, led by example, learned a lot about himself throughout the process, learned a lot about others. It wasn't easy at the beginning. I think he became a better leader over the years. Yeah, he's a winner. That's, as a former player, that's, the only thing you can judge a guy is, did he win? And did he win for those who played with him?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think guys had a problem when Kobe was winning 5 championships. It was great. Nobody was, there was no contesting, or he was winning, and that's what he did.
No, and I know he's always been criticized for not suffering fools gladly with a lot of the young kids that he's been surrounded by over the last couple of years. But to me, just being around Hall of Famers, as I've been fortunate to do, not only with ESPN but with the NFL Network, that's what separates greatness from immortality, James, is that there's a certain drum beat, and then there's the drum beat of somebody like Kobe from a different level. And I just don't know how many people can match that, James.
Yeah, I played with Magic Johnson. No one can match his either. You either get with it or get off of it. He was a true leader. I thought I was pretty good. I'd come out of North Carolina, but sometimes you have to follow before you lead, and then you just have to follow those that know how to lead. So, when you have a guy like Kobe who refuses to, take second, it's unacceptable, and he comes in hard, you have to be disliked because you say things that sometimes are hurtful and sometimes that, get under people's skin. That's true leadership, and, that's who he is.
Do you think there's somebody in the NBA like that, though, with that attitude on a daily? Is LeBron have that? Who might have that in the NBA?
I think I've seen it from LeBron. I mean, he's LeBron says what's on his mind, and I think he's gotten better at communicating. But he's the closest thing that I can say that has that type of edge about him. And so that would be the only comparisons that I could think of.
Hall of Famer James Worthy again from Time Warner Cable Sportsnet here in Los Angeles. What about the future of the Lakers, James?
Yeah,
from here on out.
Right now, it's unforeseen. We have young players, we have draft picks, but we don't have any all-stars or any if you want to say elite players. We've yet to. We've yet to secure that. But I do think, given a few years, if we put the right combinations together, I do like, the youth movement that they have right now. If they could get a senior leadership to go along with that, or a veteran player that could come in and lead them to expedite the growth, I don't know. Maybe they're 2 or 3 years away from getting back in the mix. I do like Clarkson. I do like, the potential in Russell. I think Randall's a beast, and they have to continue to learn the game. Larry Nance, 4 years of college, fundamentally sound. So, they're a ways away, but, we'll have to be patient and see what happens.
And then on the opposite end of the spectrum, you've got the Warriors who can set a record tonight, James. If I gave you the Warriors of the field to win the NBA championship, who would you take right now?
Say that again.
If I gave you the Warriors or the rest of the field to win it all coming up in June, who do you take?
I love the Warriors. I love the way they play. They kind of remind us of like not exactly like the Showtime Lakers, but they run. They're unpredictable. They dominate, and you can't stop them, and it's frustrating. But I still like San Antonio for some reason. I just like in 7 games. What Popovich does and how they are connected. It's a system that no matter who you put in, it always works. And I like that in 7 games. You can go around regular season and you can dominate when you one city one night, one city, but when you get in a 7-game series, for some reason the odds seem to change. So I would never count San Antonio out.
And so tonight, before I let you go, James, who's going to be there? Who can you let me know who's coming? From what you know. Everybody?
Everybody you can think of. I'm sure there'll be a lot of former players. The Hollywood crowd. There'll be international coverage. You guys will be there. It's going to be one of those nights. Get there early, from what I'm hearing.
Okay, get there early tonight. Also, before I let you go, did you hear the word that the NBA is expected to allow advertisements on jerseys starting in the 27-2018 season? And if so, what do you think about that idea of ads on NBA jerseys, James?
Is it for the NBA, or do players get to?
No, it's for the NBA. 2.5-inch by 2.15-inch patch on the left shoulder.
As long as the money is being distributed down to the Players Association and things like that,
I'm sure it will be.
I guess I'll be okay with it. I see it in golf, but I think those are individual endorsements. But hey, that's where we are. Social media, it's advertising. That's big business.
At James Worthy 42. Speaking of social media, just give yourself. Let's all follow James Worthy. Okay, how does that sound, James?
I love it.
You good that? Hey, thanks for calling in. I appreciate it. Have a good time tonight.
You got it, Rich.
You got it. That's at James Worthy 42.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.